Dr. Liberto. We're back for 2010.
Yep.
And it's wonderful, again, to have our viewers, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Well, last year, we talked about the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And then on January 1st, we celebrated the Feast of Mary, Mother of God. And so I wanted to, again, go back into some more of the theology of Mary. And so let's just get talking.
All right. That feast, the first dogma that was pronounced on Mary was the dogma of the Theotokos, Mother of God. It means God-bearer in Greek. We might say Mater Dei or something like that in Latin, Mother of God. It really was around a big controversy. There was a certain churchman at the time who in his homilies was denying the title Mother of God to Mary. And although it wasn't an official dogma of the church, it had already crept into her prayers that Mary was the Mother of God. But he didn't quite understand this particular person. His name was Nestorius, and there's actually the heresy of Nestorianism, which is named after him. He said, well, Mary is the mother of Christ, but not the mother of God. And so somehow he didn't quite understand that although Christ has two natures, the two natures are united in a single divine person. So it is true that you wouldn't want to say that Mary is the mother of the divine essence or the divine substance, because that divine substance has no beginning. It's eternal. But she is the mother of Jesus. And the human nature which Christ assumed comes from Mary and had a beginning in time. That human nature is temporal and passable and finite. So this churchman, Nestorius, didn't quite understand how is it that we could call her Mother of God when she obviously is not the originator of the divine essence.
Right.
Okay, that's true. But because this human nature is so united, it's the closest possible union that we could imagine, so united to the person of the Word that she truly is the Mother of God. Maybe it's good to think of it like this. She's not merely the mother of a human nature. She's the mother of a person.
Right.
Right? And the person of Jesus is a divine person. Theologically, although I guess you could say he's a human being, he's got a human nature, it's not quite correct theologically to say that he's a human person. Right. And this is kind of technical. He's actually a divine person who assumes a human nature and becomes man. That's the incarnation.
Right.
But to talk about, and again, this technical language of person, in Greek it's hypostasis, he's a divine person who's always existed as the eternal Son. So when he becomes a human son, he has a mother. And that mother is the mother of Jesus, who is a divine person. And therefore, the title Mother of God is appropriate.
And I think it's very interesting. You say it's one of the first dogmas to come out of the church.
It is the first Marian dogma. It was pronounced in 431 at the Council of Ephesus. It was all about this controversy. Do we call her Mother of God or not? The Council says yes. St. Cyril was really the champion of the day, defending Mary as Theotokos. And Nestorius was denounced.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's an incredible importance to the Catholic Church, I think, to know that so far back into our history, and even before that council, people had already recognized her as a Mother of God, revered her as a sacred person, not as a God herself, not a divine person herself, but as a sacred person.
Well, to tell you how important it is, Nestorius is in Constantinople. Cyril is in Alexandria, Egypt. When he finds out that that's going on, he travels and he wants to consult the Pope, which he does, and eventually they convene the council. And Nestorianism, which denies that Mary is Mother of God, is done away with as any official teaching. Now, Nestorius was an important person. Constantinople was an important see.
Very much so.
Right? But he erred, and he was denounced.
And the history of the Catholic Church is full of churchmen who really did believe they were doing right and had so many great attributes to the church.
They'll find scriptures that support their position, etc. I mean, it really is. I mean, we think everything's so neat and tidy and everything, but it's not like that most of the time. And that you have these controversies, and many of the first councils were controversies. And this one's much more about Jesus than it is about Mary, because it's about trying to understand how do these natures come together in the one person. And because Nestorius didn't quite understand the theology, he wanted to say Mary wasn't Mother of God. So it is a Marian dogma, but it's also very much Christological.
And that's very important as Jesus, as God, man, as a Trinity, everything. Well,
Sure.
thank you, Dr. Liberto, for your insights, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.